from then to now. So today, my guest is none other. She is a mother. She is an author. She's a relationship coach and she is a speaker. And she is my girl, Miss Teriece Cherell. So I want to bring her in and I want you guys to just sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome, Teriece. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Good morning. How are you? Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Me too. I am truly excited. I'm so honored to be. I know it's different right now. Usually we in the studio, we hugging on each other and loving on each other. Well, I love you, love you, love you. So we're gonna do it like this now.
I love you more.
Look, I thank God for the opportunity to do it this way. Just to be able to come before you guys again. It's been a long time. Originally, I met you on the radio show, which was Wake Up to Morning Inspirations in 2019. That was the first day. It was Valentine's Day. I remember that so well.
I do too. I do too.
Yes, you came on, and your book was perfect for that day, for that show, because it's perfect. The title alone, Live, Learn, and Love with an Open Heart. It just says it all. The title alone says it all. Live and learn, love with an open heart. How can you not do any of those things if your heart and mind is not open, right?
Yes, yes. That's one of the things that I always say. Live, learn, love. But if your heart is not open to give and receive the
Right,
pure unconditional love of God, you're gonna miss it. And
right,
I believe that if you can do those things, it's a lot going on in the world.
right,
But if you can do those three things to the best of your ability, then I believe you figure this life out. God
right,
has called us to do things. We're living.
right,
Every day that He wakes us up is another opportunity to learn about Him, to learn about ourselves, to learn about others, and
right,
how we can share the love, how we can spread the love.
right.
So it's
That's
so much in it. It's so much in it. But for me, that's pretty much what life is about.
that book said a lot. I mean, it was perfect for then and it's perfect for now. So I want when you first came on the show, I know that you had maybe just recently had you self-published your book as well, right?
Yes, I did.
That's amazing in itself. You self-published your book, and I think you had just self-published the book when you came on the show. Not long, maybe like what, a few months or maybe a
A
year
few
before,
months before. My release was December 16th, 2018.
and you
And
came.
I was on the show Valentine's Day 2019. So it only been a few months, like maybe what, 2 months? About
Right,
2 months. Yes, ma'am.
right. And so you came on the show then and was, sharing your story, sharing your book, sharing your inspiration to your book. And I want you just to, share a little bit with the listeners because so many times people don't understand that they see, everyone in their life and see where they are today, but they don't understand the journey that it took to reach the level that you have reached in your life. You don't understand the road you had to travel. Every great person you look back in history had to travel and had a journey they had to go through in order to reach their greatness. They had to become uncomfortable. They had to become comfortable, I'm sorry, with being uncomfortable to reach their greatness. So I want you to share a little bit of your story, what inspired you to write the book, Teriece? Where did you get the title from? And on.
Okay, well, as a child, I've always loved to read, write, speak, and act.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually started writing at about 8 or 9 years old, just talking about my life, growing up, family, friends, things of that nature.
Right,
And
right,
of course, as I grew up, other things started occupying that place and space.
right.
And as I got older, and I wrote poetry as well. So
Okay.
as I got older, um, I never thought I would be an author. I did those things, life happens, you grow up, you do other things, and the opportunity presented itself. I was a part of the All Access Foundation
Right.
with CC Harrison, and
Oh,
one of the initiatives was writing a book. So there were four initiatives. It was a nonprofit mentoring organization for young girls and women, and one
uh,
of the initiatives was writing a book, going back to school, becoming a homeowner, or starting a business.
okay.
Well, at that time, I had a master's degree, so I wasn't really interested in going back to school. I
Right.
was doing credit repair and credit restoration, so that was kind of the business piece,
Mm-hmm.
which would have went into the homeowners piece. So I kind of had a few things going on. And
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I want to write a book. And it was funny because honestly, I already knew or I had an idea what I wanted to write about, relationships. And
Really?
usually when you hear relationships, people think of romantic, they think of boyfriend, girlfriend,
Right.
husband, wife. But what
Mhm.
I wanted to do in this book is acknowledge and appreciate all relationships, your
Yeah.
family, your friends, the relationship with God or whatever your faith is, the
Right.
relationship with your children, with
Mhm.
your employer, employees,
Right.
co-workers, business associates, even a relationship with yourself. And oftentimes we don't really acknowledge and appreciate these relationships for the lessons and blessings that they are.
Right.
We're in a relationship, we're out of a relationship, it's over, we're bitter, we're broken, we act like it never happened. But I believe that each relationship is designed to teach us something
It is.
about ourselves,
It
about life, and about how to deal with others. Each
right.
relationship has a lesson, and it is a blessing, even the ones that don't work out. So I really wanted people to really
Right.
start
It's a lesson.
appreciating relationships.
Right. 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 I was saying what you were saying, the ones that don't work out is a lesson as well. And you're right, because it teaches you not to do the same thing you did, to fall into that same position,
Right.
predicament again. So you everything. You're right. And all relationships are very important. Like you said, the first thing to think about is one man and woman, a marriage or boyfriend and girlfriend. But it's more to this. It's relationships between families, mothers and daughters, fathers and sisters and brothers, on and on. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And like I said, I really wanted people, like, it was dedicated to my paternal grandmother, Maggie.
Okay.
And I just thought about the lessons that she taught me, the
Mhm.
morals and values that she instilled in me. And at the time that I wrote the book, she was no longer here. She had
Wow.
passed on, but she's always here forever in my heart. But I thought about those lessons and the things that I wanted to pass on to my daughter,
Right.
Tiana, who is now 12 years old. So just thinking about those lessons, just thinking about, growing up with my parents, with
Yes.
my siblings, with my cousins, and just even the outside village, it takes a village. So
Right.
even the extended family, even
Yeah.
the teachers, even the people at church all play a role in your development.
Yes,
And
it does.
really, relationships help us to discover who we are,
Yes.
based on what we may have gone through or not have gone through. When we get into these relationships, friendships, business partnerships, we know, or we should have an idea what we do or don't want based on what we did or did not experience.
Come on now, you preaching, girl. You are talking home. This is home. You preaching, really preaching, because that is so real and so true, Teresa. I mean, when you have relationships with different people, and you learn and you grow from those type of relationships, who you are as a person, what you want as a person, what are you going to allow in your life as a person. You begin to learn and know yourself. So that is so true. So you're hitting home on that. Make girl, so I said live, learn, and love. That book just covers everything.
Thank you so much. Now, with
Copy
the
it, tap Amazon.com. Go get it. Go get it. It's amazing. Yes.
thank you. Now with the title, so
Mhm.
India Ari is one of my favorite artists, one of
Okay.
my favorite singers, and she had an album out. It was called Testimony Volume 1, Life and Relationships.
Uh-huh.
So I was in college, I want to say, and I love that album, and I would just play the songs and listen to them. And really good music really ministers to you and speaks to you.
Oh,
And I would just play the music and have my little candle and be in my little mood if I'm taking my bubble bath. I like a certain
the boat
atmosphere.
going.
I like a little mood, a vibe. And I would just let that music play and sink into my soul. And when I thought about relationships, I'm like, live, learn, and love. That's what we do. That's what the songs taught me, going through different things,
Uh,
learning to love God, love myself, love others, even in the midst of it,
right.
learning how to set healthy boundaries in relationships, learning
Mm.
how to stay true to who God created me to be,
Yes.
just learning what I did and didn't want.
Come on.
So
Woo.
in a book, I speak about different types of relationships and I break it down. But I like in relationships to making a cake, right? To baking a cake, you need
Oh,
to have the right ingredients.
oh, come on now.
Now, relationships, there's not a one size fits all. Your relationship may need more of this, my relationship may need more of that, but there are some common ingredients,
Right.
some common elements that all relationships, whether it's a friendship, a partnership, a marriage, a family, You need
Right.
to be able to effectively communicate,
Right.
right?
Right.
We need to be able to be honest.
You know what? And you're right, Sharice. And you know what? When you put God in the middle of that, it is so amazing. Because let me tell you, my husband, myself, he'll come to me and say, "Okay, well, we're gonna do this and this," and I may say, "Why?" I don't see it at first, right? Why? Why? What's the reason? Why? And then immediately God will begin to minister to me on why we're doing what we're doing. So and that it comes together because God is in the middle of it and He brings it together and makes it like they say that cake, all the measurements, everything comes and it's delicious. You see what I'm saying? At the end
It's
of it.
delicious, right? Because I baked a few cakes. I'm gonna keep it real. That weren't too good. I put a little too much of this, not enough of this, and then let it, do the time. So it's just about knowing yourself first of all, knowing God, knowing who He created you to be,
Come on.
and making sure that you know your partner, you know your spouse, you know your family person,
Right.
and mixing it together because nobody's perfect, but there is, something that's perfect for you and that's perfect for me. So I have to know myself in order to know what I do or don't want. My partner, friend, daughter,
Right.
spouse, family member, they
Right.
have to know themselves as well. So
Right.
once you do that, like you say, you put it together, everyone knows what they do or don't want. We sit down, we effectively communicate
On
because
that.
communication and effective communication is two different things. So
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that we communicate effectively, right? We
Amen.
want to listen. We want to be heard. We want
Right.
to be honest. We
Right.
want to forgive. We have to make sacrifices. We have to have some trust. So there's a lot of things that go into different types of relationships. They may not all need the same thing or the same amount, but some things they all need.
Right. Now, that's the relationship coach talking now. So we need to bring her. So we're gonna bring her in. So we're gonna move. So what I want everybody to know is when I first met you, Teriece, in 2019, you had just became that amazing author of the book Live, Learn, and Love with an Open Heart. Amazing. Now today, we're in 2023 now. That was 2019. Where are you now? What has God been doing in your life from that time up until now?
Oh my God, God has opened up so many doors. And this book, let me tell you something. This book has opened up so many doors and opportunities to meet amazing people like my sister Rochelle, other people. It has brought us together, different events. So,
Yeah.
like I said, I've always loved to read, write, speak, and act. So, pretty much those things kind of fall in line.
Right.
Um, some are even a decent amount of authors do go on to speak because
Right.
they're speaking about their book, they're promoting, they're on different platforms, and that does open up doors. And being that I like to talk, you know how we get. So it was like speaking, okay, well, you're talking about it, you have this book, what next?
Right.
What's next for you? Okay, some people they want to write a book, they do that, they scratch it off their bucket list. But
Right.
there was more for me, like, what are you going to do now?
Right.
Okay, you wrote a book, people like it, they're giving you feedback. How can you still help them?
Right.
Relationships are something that we're always going to be in throughout our lives.
Come on now. Right.
God created us to be in a relationship.
Right.
So that one over, okay, you still got a family, you still have friends, you still have business, associates, employer, employee. So you're always going to be connecting, communicating with people. So
Right.
how can I help people really understand how important relationships are?
Right.
Okay, you like to talk, you have a book, you're going to be a speaker. All right.
Wow.
Different events. I'm speaking at church. I'm a part of different organizations.
Look at that.
So that's just a platform.
Right.
Using that platform, to help others. Okay, we're speaking about healthy relationships. And when I speak about relationships, I think about it holistically. Okay.
Right.
Healthy minds, healthy bodies, healthy relationships. All of that works together,
Right.
right?
It does.
Because if you're not having a healthy relationship, it's going to affect your health. It
Yes.
may affect your finances. It
Yes.
may affect your mental state, your emotional state. So it's
Yes.
like a trickle down effect. We want to be healthy in all areas,
All
spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and emotionally.
it
We
all.
want that health. We want that wealth. We want that freedom. So I started speaking about, relationships, different types, making sure that people understand it's not just romantic. It's so much more than that. You can go so deeper into relationships because, it's just so broad. Like, okay, what relationship do you want to focus on? And it's like, I want to focus on all of them, although you can't, really focus on all of them, but They're all important.
Yes.
Every
Yes.
relationship that I've been through, gone through, currently going through now is shaping Teriece Cherell. So that I can be that author, so that I can be that
Yes.
speaker, so that I can be that relationship coach, putting all of those experiences together. Because
Yes.
life is about experience. It's
Yes.
about what you make of it. It's what you do with those lessons that you learn. If
Right.
I learn the lesson and keep it to myself, who is it helping? I
Nobody.
learned a lesson. How am I
No.
help my sister in her relationship? How am I
Right.
help this person get a better business relationship?
Right.
I have to use my lessons that I've learned to help others, right?
Right.
And they're going to have their experiences in their lessons. That might not be the same. They may be similar, but at least they'll have an idea. You know what? She did it. I can do it. She was
See?
in that type of relationship. It worked. It
Right.
didn't. But this is what she learned. This is how she's getting better. This is what he's going to take into the next relationship.
Right.
So that's where the speaking part came from. And with speaking came the coaching. Okay, I'm going to talk about it. I need to help somebody because helping someone is helping myself.
Come on,
You know, I
girl.
figured this thing out, but I
Yes.
can't keep it all to myself.
You
Who
can.
can I help? Who
Teresa,
can I help? So, okay, coaching.
you
I'm
can.
going to help you. We're going to set these boundaries. We're
Right.
going to talk about different types of communication styles. When I think about communication, I think about, the love languages.
Oh.
There's different love languages, but there's also different communication types and styles.
Right.
So if we want to practice effective communication, I have to know how I receive information, right? I
Right.
have to know how I communicate to others, as well as how others communicate to me, how I understand, how I process. Because
With
I'm
a
always processing something in his mind.
with an open mind, right?
With
That
an
too.
open mind, yes. Open hands, open heart, open mind. You just got to be open. So,
Everything everything still from that book, still from your title,
yes.
still from what you put inside of there, still from what's inside of you already. And it's amazing that you're using that, all that God put inside you to be a blessing to so many because people need that. They need a direction in relationships. They need to know the little fundamental things that they need to help make it an effective communication and make it an effective relationship so they can, have a healthy relationship as well. So everything is stemming from that, and that is truly amazing that from that moment on to now you're the relationship coach and the speaker. So just tell us all of the things that God is continually doing, so just keep on going, because see, my sister loves to talk and I let her talk because she
Yes, she does. So
talk.
as you know, I am working on some other projects. So this was my first book. I have a workbook that accompanies this. I
Yes.
currently am working on my devotional journal. Outside of that, I am working on the first part of my ABC series. It is ABCs of relationships.
Come
Of
on.
course, I'm still speaking.
Come on.
I am currently working on some other things as well, but definitely getting back into writing.
Yes.
I'm an educator now, so I'm just educating people everywhere. I am a high school teacher, so that's a part of the building
Educate.
relationships. That's a part of the educating. That's a part of the speaking. All of it goes together.
Yes.
So I'm just so blessed and grateful for the opportunity to use my gifts,
Yes.
and help others and do other things with it. So I'm
Right.
currently also working on some courses. I speak about my AAA method. So that's something I've been working on a while, but life happens.
Share a little bit of the AAA method. Share a little bit of that with the people.
Okay, so I termed it my AAA method, but it stands for acknowledge, accept, and adjust.
Right.
And it's something that I talk about when I think about the self reflection and self evaluation
Mhm.
process that we all go through at some point in time.
Yes.
It's three things that you must do. So when you think about a person in an AA program or any type of program, the
Mhm.
first thing that you need to do is acknowledge that there is an issue, right? Acknowledge that there is something that you're lacking, slacking in, and something that you want to work on. This is
Right.
an area that you're deficient in and you want to get better.
Right.
So when I speak about it in a book, it's an acknowledgement of myself that I had at that particular time about where I was headed, what I was doing at that particular time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call this my AAA method, and I'm going to go through this process so that I can get to where I feel that I need to be, right? Because that wasn't where I was. It was where I was, but I knew that God had something bigger and better. I know that it's a process. You have to go through it to get to it. So at that particular time, I was at my acknowledgement phase.
It's
right? There were some things I had to acknowledge about myself for myself.
right, right. And I love the AAA method. I love all of that because that is just so amazing. That is just truly amazing. Something we need to add to our everyday lives every
You
day.
should,
Every,
definitely.
something we need to add to our lives every single day. So, Teresa, I know that you are now the relationship coach. So I want you to give out just some, just a little inspiration and a little inspiration to the listeners for a healthy relationship. What are some of the tools that they can use in their relationship to begin to create a healthy one?
Well, the first thing I would say is you have to know who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're going to accept what people tell you
Right.
you are, who they think you are, what they say about you. So that's something that you have to, it's like you have to dig deep within. It's there. We can't always see it at the surface, but that's where the AAA method comes in. It's so important because I had to acknowledge some things. And I'm Hollywood, got the shades, but when you really are serious about getting better and being better and doing better,
Right.
it's like you're naked. Like I really had to get in the mirror, and you know what? There's some things that I don't really like. We have to face the harsh realities. We're not always as pretty as we think we are.
Come on
We put
now.
our makeup on, we put our shades on, we put our little lipstick on, but really trying to uncover those things because
Right.
I believe that beneath the surface, we all want to be better. We all want to get better and do better.
Right.
But there are some things that you must do in order to get there, right? And that's where the acknowledgement comes. And if you don't mind, I'd like to read a quick excerpt
Not mine.
about that part to just show you how this works. And it's fine. It's a process. It's something that you do for yourself, but it's not by yourself. And I love that because people think that they have to do things by themselves.
It's
You have your coach, you have your circle, you have your family, you have your friends, you have whoever those people are, your mentors that
right.
are cheering you on, motivating and inspiring you. And that's your push on
Right.
those moments when you don't want to get up, on those days when you don't feel like going on, when you're like, this is hard, I don't want to do this. You need to have those people and making sure that you have those people and also having the right type of people,
Right.
behind you and beside you, pushing you into
Right.
your purpose, into your destiny is going to be very important.
Right.
So that's something that I always like to share. So then when you get to the second part of the AAA method, you accept. Now, acceptance doesn't mean that, okay, this is the way I am, this is the way I'm going to be forever. You just accept that there are some things that you need to do, right?
Right.
And there are some people that can help you get there. Okay, so you ask yourself during each phase, there's some questions that you ask yourself, right?
Yes.
Like, where am I? Why am I here?
Right.
How did I get here? Different questions
I
that you
love
ask yourself at different times. And it's not a 1, 2, 3 month, however long your process is. It's not okay, we're gonna spend 3 weeks on this. If it take you 2, 3 months to figure out where you are and who you are and how you got there, you take the time that you need.
it. You take the
You
time for you.
take the time that you need, baby, because this is some work that you have to do.
That's
You look
right.
yourself in the mirror. You took all that makeup off, all that stuff off, and this is your reality. And
Right.
it can be harsh sometimes, and the truth can be ugly. But if
Right.
you really want to get to the next level, the next chapter, the next phase of your life, you have to do this. And it's
Yes.
not a one-time thing. You can do it monthly, you can do it quarterly, however many times you feel you need to do it to get to where you're trying to go, you do it. I try to do it quarterly, but that might be a little too long. Might have to be every other month because it's always something that you may or should be doing to work on yourself if you want to get better.
Right. You need to work on yourself all the time. You need to always check yourself. How you say self.
Right.
Like, look here, girl. What are you doing? Is this what
Right. What's going on with you? You got to get this together. Now, this not you.
you're doing? Search. You gotta check it. Was that the right move to make? Was that the right thing to say? You gotta check yourself all the time because every day we mess up. So you are so right. You have to do this every day.
You have to do this every day. And then, like I said, as often as you need to. Then you go to the next phase when you're ready, when you acknowledge those things. And it doesn't have to be everything at one time.
Right.
One small thing.
Right.
It's a lot. We got a lot going on with us. But just acknowledge one thing that you want to work on now.
Baby.
One thing that you want to work on now.
Mm-hmm.
And start working on it. Accept it. Okay, this is how I am. for whatever reason, but I don't need to stay this way. I don't have to stay this way. I don't want to stay this way. And
Right.
so then the third phase is adjust, make the adjustments.
That's it. I love
The doctor? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to see a therapist,
it.
a coach? Do I need to, what is it that I need to do and who can help me? Because there's always someone that can help you. Who do I need to contact, reach out to that can help me with this issue, that can help me get better? And then that's where the adjustment, you make those adjustments. And
Afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to seek out and say, look, I need somebody I can talk to. I need this. I need help with this. Don't be afraid because see, pride
no,
comes fall. So don't be
it
afraid.
is.
All need help. We all need somebody to help us. God put us here to help each other, to be a blessing to one another. So do not be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's right. So you ask for that help. You pray about it so that God can send you in the right direction. Everybody can't help you now.
Right?
Everybody ain't trying to help you. We're gonna keep that part real.
Come on
But
now.
when you pray to, you know how that is.
You
But
pray
when you pray to God, God will send you those people.
the
He
right.
will give you those signs. Okay, this is the person. You reach out to that person. You feel them out. Is this the person I'm comfortable with?
Right.
What they talking about. Can they really help me? Have they been through this? Because if you haven't been through it,
How you gonna
how
help
you
me?
gonna help me? You don't even know what I'm talking about. You haven't been there, done that.
Come on.
So
I,
it needs to be a person who, may have some knowledge or experience in this area. And it doesn't mean that they know it all. They
right.
know what they know, and what they don't know, they can learn, just like you can.
The
And I
key.
actually just had a conversation with a friend today. I said,
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm a teacher, but that doesn't mean I know it all. The
Right.
teacher is also the student.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what I do know, I do know. And what
Right.
I don't know, I can learn.
There you go. You always be
That's
always
it.
remain teachable. Don't
Right.
ever
You have to be
like
teachable. Yes.
because you don't know it all. We know
No.
it all.
You
Not
have to be teachable. That's correct. And willing to learn. Willing to
right.
learn as well. Yes.
So that is amazing. So and like you said, Teriece, you have to be prayerful that God send a right person in your life because you want somebody to come into your life that's going to add and help you reach your purpose. And if they're
Right.
not helping you reach your purpose, it's not the right one. That's
It's
not the
not the right one, baby. They got to go.
it's praying and asking God for direction. Simple as that. Asking God for direction in your life on what you need to do, what is His will for your life, and guess what? God will send the right person to you at the right time, on time, every time.
That's it. Timing is everything. You hit the nail on it. The right time, the right person. Timing is everything. And
That's it.
actually, in my book, I speak about time. I
You do.
have a chapter on time.
Wow.
So yes, timing is everything. I talk about a lot in this book. I talk about different things, different people, and things that really make you think about life. So I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown.
Okay.
My book is 3 sections:
Mhm.
living the life, learning the lessons, and loving the legacy. And in those sections, in those chapters, I talk about things that are relative to that particular thing, right? So
Yes.
living a life, for me, that entails my faith, my family, my friends, and finances. So when I think about living a life, I think about those things that really shape and encompass my life, right?
Right.
Then I move on to learning the lessons. Okay, how do we learn lessons? We make choices, we
Right.
take chances, and we make changes. We're committed to cultivating relationships. Now, remember, relationships all types:
All time.
family, friends, faith, relationship with your finances. Some of our relationship with our finances is not very good. We ain't
Right.
gonna go there right now, but that's a part of it too. We talk about that, but just making sure that you're committed to cultivating these relationships, making sure that they're healthy, making sure that you're not only getting from them but giving to them.
Right.
It's a give and take. You can't be get all the time. What are
Yeah.
you giving to the relationship,
You have to
right?
nurture it so it can grow
You
and
have to nurture it like that flower. So it could be that beautiful flower that we can
right.
cultivate, and that's going to have a sweet fragrance, and you have to nurture it. That's correct. And I actually talk about that. I talk about relationships are like beautiful flowers that must be cultivated
Wow. So we speaking.
and nurtured.
Mhm.
Yes.
You have to nurture your relationship so it can grow. Everything you have to nurture it. If it's yours, nurture it so it can grow and blossom to what you want it to be. You have to. So Teriece, it is like I say, always an honor and a privilege to sit and talk with you and hear all the things that God is doing. Always, it's always you continually elevating, elevating, elevating. That's
You.
honor. how you know God is in your life. That's how you know God is leading you when you continue to elevate over and over again. And I'm so honored to have a privilege to be able to come back and sit with you now from 2023 and hear all the things that God has been doing in your life and how you've been sharing your gift with the world, blessing people, helping others in their relationships, just being a speaker, just doing so many things with your amazing book that has blessed me since day one. And it continues to bless because the title says all live, learn, and love with an open heart. Your heart has to be open to love, to live, and to learn. Simple as that. If your mind and
Yes,
your heart is closed, you will not receive any of that. So I thank you, sis. I love you, girl. And
I love you too.
pray God continue to blossom you as you continue to just grow and elevate. And don't forget about me. Hey, we
Oh,
gonna
I'm not gonna forget about you. I think about, I went online on my website and I looked at that picture of us and I was listening to the music. Wake up to morning inspirations. Wake up. And then and then I remember we had Kelly and
yeah,
we had callers and it was so amazing and it was such an experience
yes. And I remember
and on that Valentine's Day. So you're right, it was perfect for that day. I
yes,
remember I was leaving to go to Baton Rouge for my Eastern Star conference. I'm like, I'm gonna do my interview. So yes,
it looked
4 years ago.
I had
Yes, 4 years
again
ago.
the love doctor. Remember the love doctor?
Yeah, the Love Doctor. Me, you, and
Y'all
Love Doctor Rob.
come
Yes,
I've come on again together because you guys came on again and talked about relationships as
we
well.
did come together. Yeah, you're gonna have to get me and Rob back on together.
I got to get the people together because I'm so serious. The relationships and marriages and family relationships and just all those dynamics are just they're not strong anymore. They're falling apart. They're
They are
falling apart. Real talk. They're falling apart before our very eyes. I'm you see it every day. I see it in my family with my siblings and brothers and nieces and I
right.
I see it all around me. I see marriages. I see all that just people just having such a hard time with relationships. And I believe it because they don't have the tools. They're not putting those tools to work and they don't have
It
anyone
works.
except for you, my girl, you giving them out now. So we need discoveries. We need you. We need the love doctor. We need people like you guys to share your gifts, what God has put inside you to share with the people so that we all can grow and
Yeah.
learn some in our relationships from that.
Well,
So
I'm here for it. Whenever you call, look, when you had an event for the authors, pick up the phone, text. I'm
uh,
there.
you know,
We'll work it out. We'll work it out in the schedule. But I do believe it's very important.
yes,
And like you said, just the family dynamic, just getting back to that, making sure you have that strong foundation.
it's so hard.
Making sure you're able. That's where that communication comes in.
Yes,
That's what their relationship with God comes in. Those
yes,
lessons and morals and values that were instilled in us.
yes,
I speak about my grandmother, those things that I'm instilling in my daughter today. You
right,
can't lose the family values when things change. You
right,
have to get back, into that. Look, we got to talk about this,
right.
not sweeping stuff under the rug, not hiding, but really acknowledging this is a triple A method, acknowledging, accepting, and making the adjustments so we don't have these generational curses. So
Come
we
on.
don't have these things
Wow.
breaking and shaking our families, that we are being more free, that we're being healthy, that we're showing them you can do this. You can have a healthy relationship. You can have a healthy friendship. You can be a healthy person.
Right. So
But you have to start somewhere. You have to want it and you have to know what to do to get it. You have to set those boundaries. And let me tell you something. It's not always easy, but once you start doing it and putting it into practice, it's like nobody wants to hear the boundary, like the B word. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me. But if you
right,
don't set those boundaries, it's like you open yourself up to people treating you any type of way,
saying
doing what you want. Anything goes. You
right,
have to set those boundaries not just for them, but for yourself. And I
right.
say a boundary isn't designed just to keep people away or out, it's to
No,
protect you. We
right,
have fences, we have gates. Well, those are boundaries, right? They're protecting us, but they're also protecting the other person. So
right,
when you communicate and when you understand what these boundaries are in relationships and friendships, that's why you have to talk about them. If I have a boundary and I don't tell you about it and you overstep across my boundary, we're gonna have a problem and you're gonna be like, what's going on?
right.
That's
Right.
why we have to communicate. Look, this is something that, I'm not comfortable with. I'm not cool with. This is, whatever it is. And you sit down together, especially in romantic relationships or partnerships, to discuss what your boundaries are:
And guess
mental, physical, financial,
that's right. And
sexual, emotional. We all have boundaries.
we do. And if that's a person for you, they're gonna respect your
They're
boundary.
gonna respect your boundary, right? And if they're not, all
They-
right.
So Teriece,
What they say, deuces.
how can someone who's looking to um for your services for the help in their relationships, and how can they reach out to you? How can they, get your services? What can it
Okay, so we are going to share. My Instagram is I am Teriece Cherell. I don't know if we're able to put that in the notes.
I'm gonna put at the top I'm gonna put at the top of this video so they can reach out to you.
Okay. We can put my Instagram, I am Teriece Cherell.
Okay.
On Facebook is just Teriece Cherell. And I also have a page for the book, a
Okay.
group, which is Live, Learn, Love.
All right.
And they can also contact me on my website, TereceCherell.com. And that
Okay.
is spelled
Okay.
TereceCherell.com. So they can reach out to me on there, send me a message. Um, they can call me on my business, 504-410-7348. So they have multiple ways that they can find me. Um,
Okay.
as
For the
for the book,
okay.
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Walmart.com, on a website, um, on social media.
Okay, and for your speaking, somebody looking for you to come out and speak and talk about your books and share some relationship advice, and so how to do by speaking the same way,
Yeah,
the
they can contact me the same way: phone,
website,
email, social media. Yes, just reach out to me. Let me know what you need. You know exactly what you're looking for. Give me some dates.
right?
And
How
then we can get that. We can get that done.
fast do they need to reach out to you for speaking engagements?
It just depends. I would say at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance if they know what the date is, because I do other things
Okay,
as well. I do have a child
you
who's
all be
involved in some things. I'm teaching and I'm involved in some other organizations. So if they
big
have a date and they, look, I like to have you speak about this, that, bring your book. As long as they give me the date and I don't have anything else, I can definitely work it out in my schedule.
wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Again, Teriece Cherell. When I met you in 2019, you just author. You had just became an author. Now we're here, 2023. My girl is a relationship coach. She is a speaker and she is an author, a mother, and she's doing amazing things. She's an educator. Look at God, and just on and on and on. And I'm just so excited for you. Continue to blossom, continue to let God lead you, continue to let God use you, and the sky will not be your limits at
And
all.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you and thank you for this opportunity. We always hooking up something and getting
Always.
back together. I'm like, isn't it time? When you having another show? When is it time?
And look,
So
as you say that, Teriece, I want to say this quick, y'all. This is a perfect example of having somebody in your life that is there for you to help you with your purpose. Because I was just sitting there and Teriece reached out to me like, hey, I want us to connect, get together and do the show. I'm like, well,
mhm, I did.
but won't you? I'm waiting to get ready to reboot the Rochelle's table again, but I'm just trying to want to get in the studio. But won't you do it virtual?
I did. I did say
Like,
that.
well,
Yes, I did. And here we are. I did.
thinking about it, she didn't know what I was thinking about. So that's when God is in the middle.
I
So
didn't.
God used her to come and help push me to where we are today. So I thank you. I love you. And look,
I
that
love
is
you too.
this is what you want in your life. Someone to help you get to your purpose. If they're not helping you reach your purpose, it's not first for you in life. Get this book, y'all. Live, learn, and love with an open heart. Amazon.com, Walmart.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Reach out, get it. I promise you, it's gonna bless your life. It's gonna bless your life, and you can give it as a gift. It's Mother's Day is around the corner. You can get it as a gift to bless your mother, bless your sister, your auntie, your cousin, your friend. Trust me, it's gonna bless you guys.
I have wine glasses and I also have coffee mugs. So if they like to sip on the wine, they like to drink their tea or their coffee, you can
Yes,
get your bundle. You can get your bundle with your book and your mug or your wine glass. May have some other goodies up in there. You just never know. But it is a perfect Mother's Day gift for the woman in your life or male. It's for
right,
men too that like to read and that want to get right in their relationships.
right.
You
So
know,
y'all,
I actually I
Yeah, but
actually had a teacher, a coworker today. It was so funny. He was in my class because we're testing, and I had my book as well as a few others on my desk. And when I walked in my class, he was just like shaking his head and smiling. I thought he was on the phone. And
mhm.
he was like, "You blessed me." And I'm like, "I did." And he was like, "I was just sitting there and I saw some books on your desk." He was like, "I didn't know that was you." And he
Oh,
said, I started reading. He said, I took out an index card and I started writing some notes. And I went home and me and my lady friend had a conversation about some things. He was like, "This is amazing. Thank you." I'm like, "Thank you." I didn't know. And he didn't know I was the author, at school. He was
wow.
just like, "Wow, I'm a fan now. I have a whole new, outlook on you." I said, "Well, thank you. You just never know who a person is. We never really had a conversation like that." So he didn't know Teriece Cherell, the author,
Right. You
but
never know.
now he does. So he was like, "I would like a autograph copy. I want to do this for this." I'm like, "No
Yeah.
problem." Now you know something else about me you didn't know.
Look, he has not only met the author, he has met the author, relationship coach, and speaker. Come on. He met
Yes, he has. He might need my services soon himself.
right. So all information will be at the top of this video, guys. You can go and reach out to Teriece if you want to get some help in your relationship. You want her to be a speaker at come out to be a guest speaker for an event, or you just want to purchase a book, purchase a gift package for the Mother's Day. However, you can reach out to her. I'm going to have everything at the top of this video. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Love you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hopefully, we're going to be together. We can hug and love. But for now, love you. Love you. Kisses, kisses, hugs.
All right, love you too. Thank you so much.
All right. See you soon. Thank you all for tuning in. See you soon.